Good morning, everybody. I'm Storm Track Meteorologist Nate Harrington.
And I'm Storm Track Meteorologist Ted McInerney. We're talking about Hurricane Patricia. It's out in the Pacific. Nate, this is one for the books.
Yeah, a historically strong storm, classified as a Category 5 today, actually this morning, with sustained winds. You can see it 200 miles per hour, and the most noteworthy thing is the central pressure of 880 millibars right in the middle of that eye of the storm. This is the lowest central pressure ever recorded for a storm that is under the designation of the National Hurricane Center under their area of responsibility, which is the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific.
Which is absolutely astronomical as far as weather terms that come down. But what's interesting when you look at this is the infrared satellite. You can see the eye, it's so tiny, and that means that it's incredibly intensifying.
Yep.
It is a strong hurricane, 200-mile-an-hour winds. When we think about that here in Alabama, that's an EF5 tornado.
Put it in terms we can understand, yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is a message from the National Hurricane Center. This is part of their public advisory.
Yeah, I mean, it says the strongest eastern North Pacific hurricane on record, potentially catastrophic landfall in the southwestern part of Mexico later today, as in Friday. So this is one for the books for sure. And we're talking more, compare this to other hurricanes.
Yeah, well, the strongest before Patricia was Wilma back in 2005, and that was one of the historically active years in 2005 that also featured Rita and Katrina. And we always think about Katrina being one of the strongest storms that we can think of, but both Wilma and Rita were stronger than that, and it didn't even make the top 5 list here. Gilbert back in 1988, that held the record for a very long time. Then the Labor Day storm in 1935. But as of this morning, Patricia at the very top of this list with a minimum central pressure of 880 millibars.
Now, what does pressure mean? It's really the intensification of a hurricane. And, you know, most of you think about hurricanes and you hear about the winds. That's everything in the storm surge. Now, you kind of talk about what 880 millibars really means to this hurricane.
It's the deepening of this hurricane. It's whenever this minimum central pressure goes below that 900 millibar mark, most likely it's going to be a Category 5 storm, and the stronger the winds or the lower the pressure, most of the time the stronger the winds. And you can see, since it reached that 880 millibar status, you see those winds come all the way up to 200 miles per hour. Just crazy.
That's insane. And that makes it a Category 5 hurricane, just located south of Mexico here. Now, what's interesting about this, Nate, is we were talking, you said 87-degree water is what it's over.
Very, very warm water, like bath water almost.
So what we'll do is we'll track Patricia, and you can notice it does weaken significantly. This is a mountainous range in central Mexico. So they're evacuating the coast because it's just going to bring in enormous amounts of storm surge, devastating winds. But as we go inland, it's going to bring in devastating flooding as well. But what's interesting about this is it doesn't end here.
No, it does not.
Now, the hurricane itself does. It turns into a tropical storm. So we'll go into our Storm Track Futurecast. Look at this, Nate. There's all the rain. It looks weak. It looks like it's over.
No,
it's
not
raining.
So much.
It's been raining in Texas, right? We've been talking about that.
An area of low pressure develops in Texas.
Right here.
Taps into all that moisture from the remnants of Patricia. Now, all the structure of the storm is going to collapse basically by later on tonight and early tomorrow when it moves over that mountainous region, but it's still got a lot of moisture still left in the atmosphere. So it's all going to go into Texas, and then eventually...
Watch this. It just comes all into here. Now, as we get into Monday and Monday afternoon, it becomes a little bit more uncertain where that low pressure, which is all of the moisture stolen from Patricia, and this is going to be devastating rains into Louisiana and Mississippi. Now, the question is, how much rain will it bring for us? We're definitely going to get rain out of it. Here's the 5-day rainfall forecast, and you can see the brighter yellow colors, Nate. That's on the top end of our scale here, so that is heavy rain. It's been raining already flooding out in Texas. So Mexico, number one, biggest threat. That we got rain to deal with. Yeah,
we're probably looking at 10 to 12 inches of rain. If you can remember the floods in the Carolinas a couple of weekends ago, we had rain there in the 2-foot range. I'm not going to say that's going to happen here, but this is going to be anywhere from 10 to 12 inches of rain. Good news is they need some rain around here. They just don't need it all at one time, for sure.
The soil acts like a sponge, and if you pour so much water on top of a sponge, it can't absorb it that fast, so it needs to be steady. So this is a fluid forecast for sure as far as us. Mexico,
It's not a good thing.
You know anybody down there, anybody traveling, they got to get out.
The resort areas, Puerto Vallarta, around the coast, I mean, they've already started to evacuate, but we're talking catastrophic damage for the resort areas down there in Mexico. All
right, you want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Mark Prater tonight at 5, 6, and 10. We'll have updated information on the model data, where this rain is headed, how much rain we'll see, if it will affect our Sunday and Talladega race plans on Sunday as well. But this is something next week that could be affecting us. So
for sure.
We'll be watching.
For sure.